19 quarterbacks in 2018 averaged more than 250 passing yards per game. There are 5 quarterbacks that average more than 250 passing yards per game. We're watching quarterback play go directly into the toilet, and we're pretending like we don't see it at all. My contention is the hyper focus on DEI and black quarterback play has diminished merit, has diminished competition, has undermined the pursuit of excellence.
Finally, someone else in the media is talking about the obvious decline in the NFL. Finally, we have someone else who is willing to point out the absolutely atrocious play at the quarterback position in this league. If you have been following my channels for a while, then you already know that Uncle KC has been complaining about this for years. Me and Jason Whitlock, we might disagree on the reason. This is one of those rare instances where I don't think diversity really has anything to do with it. As you guys know, I am no defender of the disease of diversity, and I'm damn sure no defender of the disease's side effects, equity, and inclusion. The only diversity I support is diversity of thought. When you are hyper-focused on diversity, the end result is always huge, embarrassing failure. If you want to know what happens to a multi-billion-dollar organization after years of embracing the woke wiener, just look at Disney and ESPN. Disney is losing billions of dollars. They haven't had a hit movie in years, and programming at ESPN, it has been in the pooper for years now. Mina Kimes isn't tall enough to ride the teacups at Disney World. She has to stand to the side and watch as the prepubescent boys get to ride and have all the fun. But somehow, ESPN has been so blinded by diversity, they believe Mina Kimes is qualified to analyze the NFL. I might disagree with Jason Whitlock as to why we are seeing this drastic decline in the NFL, but I'm just glad to see that someone else is finally willing to call it out and talk about it. You're not going to hear this from the worldwide leader in woke, ESPN. You're not going to hear the NFL get criticized by Fox Sports or FS1. Why? There's too much money involved. They're investing billions of dollars every year into the league. And look. I'm not criticizing them for it. In their defense, if I was spending billions of dollars every year to broadcast the NFL, and the only way for me to recoup my money is to have people watch it, I'm not going to allow Colin Cowherd to go on national radio and tell people that the quality of play absolutely sucks. Fortunately for Uncle KC, I am not subservient to Roger Goodell. Hey, it's me, Roger G! I have the freedom to be honest with you without consequence. I have been telling you guys for years, this ain't it. I've been telling you guys that the NFL isn't anywhere close to what it used to be. The level of skill in the NBA, the level of skill in Major League Baseball, it has increased. Now, you might not like the style of the modern NBA, but there's no denying the fact that this is the most skilled generation of players in the history of the league. Meanwhile, quality of play in the NFL has drastically declined, and it keeps getting worse. When I first complained about this a couple of years ago, I thought things would eventually improve once young quarterbacks got more experience. Yet somehow, the NFL keeps getting worse, and that's not just my opinion. Last week, the NFL sent you a subtle message that showed you how bad quarterback play currently is in this league. All you had to do was listen. Make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Let's go and get to the sponsor for today's video, my good friends at Fluffer Noggin. I'm not a big snacker. I don't eat a lot of junk food, but if there's one time of year where I break this habit, football season. One of my favorite snacks to eat while I'm watching NFL Red Zone on Sunday afternoons, beef jerky. Problem is, a lot of beef jerky tastes like you're biting into a flat tire. Good news is, I no longer have that problem because I started buying gourmet beef jerky from Fluffer Noggin. Now you're probably wondering, what the hell is a Fluffer Noggin? Fluffer Noggin is gourmet beef jerky that's made right here in America. You don't have to worry about consuming foreign cows. All these cows are homegrown. Each recipe from Fluffer Noggin is handcrafted with the perfect amount of seasoning. First beef jerky I've ever tasted that literally melts in your mouth. Fluffer Noggin comes in a variety of flavors, ranging from mango habanero, Korean barbecue. They even have a flavoring of craft beer. Or if you're like me, you'll just stick with the original style flavoring. Fluffer Noggin beef jerky is the perfect stocking stuffer for Christmas. They are running a promotion during the holidays, so click the link in the description or the pinned comment below. Use my promo code BTL30. Receive 30% off your first purchase with Fluffer Noggin. The biggest story in the NFL last week was Phillip Rivers returning after being retired for the last 5 years. Initially, the Colts signed him to the practice squad, but a few days later, he was starting in Seattle against the Seahawks. A dude that was sitting on the couch, and it clearly showed. If Phillip Rivers had a tan, he would get mistaken for Zion Williamson. A dude that has been coaching high school football. A dude that has not played meaningful football in 5 years. Phillip Rivers got off his couch, and he was playing against one of the best teams in the league a few days later. The question is why? Well, Casey, the Colts have been bitten by the injury bug. It bit them right in the ass. All their quarterbacks are injured. It's so sad. NFL teams deal with injuries every year. I remember a few years ago, Sean Payton was so desperate for a quarterback, he called the library in New Orleans and signed some dork named N. Book. Teams deal with injuries every season, but in the decades that I have been watching this league, I can't remember another time that a team called a 44-year-old off the couch who hasn't played in 5 years, and begged him to save their season. So why did the Colts call Phillip Rivers? Maybe, just maybe, the level of play at the quarterback position has fallen so far, the Colts thought the only option to save their season was to call someone that knew how to effectively run an offense. Phillip Rivers is well past his prime physically, but he's still sharp mentally. Remember what Tom Brady said about the lack of development of modern quarterbacks? They are incredibly gifted physically, but they are not being developed mentally. Check out this list of current free agent quarterbacks in the NFL. Now, these are the quarterbacks that are available. Won't take you very long to figure out why the Colts called Phillip Rivers. Nate Sudfeld, vomit. Taylor Heine, double vomit. Clayton Tune. Sounds like the name of a WNBA player or the doofus at the local karaoke bar. Dorian Thompson-Robinson. He's got more names than touchdowns in his NFL career. Tim Boyle. That sounds like what the doctor treats when he prescribes Preparation H. Bryce Perkins. Barf. Logan Woodside. Sounds like the name of a hunting guide who takes you deer hunting deep in the Alabama woods. Desmond Ritter. Puke. Are you starting to understand why the Colts called Phillip Rivers? But KC, they could have called Colin Kaepernick. He's great! Yeah, Let's bring the ultimate distraction into our locker room as we're fighting to make the playoffs. That is exactly what every NFL head coach wants. When Colleen Kaepernick ultimately fails, Jamel Hill will blame the coaching staff and accuse them of mythical racism. Well, what about Cam Newton? Cam Newton doesn't need a call from an NFL team. He needs a call from a stylist. He desperately needs someone to teach him how to dress. Just think about this. One of the top teams in the AFC, a team that is fighting for a division title, a team that's fighting to make the playoffs, their best option was a 44-year-old quarterback who hasn't played in 5 years. If that doesn't prove Uncle KC right, if that doesn't show you how far quarterback play has declined in this league, I can't help you. You got to remember, too, 10 years ago, hell, even during the prime of his career, Phillip Rivers was not a top 5 quarterback. He was top 10, but he wasn't top 5. Obviously, that doesn't mean Phillip Rivers was a scrub, but when you're competing against prime Brady, Breeze, Manning, Rodgers, Kurt Warner, Big Ben, when that's your level of competition, there's no shame in being top 10. Today, prime Phillip Rivers, he would be one of the most dominant, if not the most dominant quarterback in this league. Mid-tier guys from 10 or 15 years ago, guys like Tony Romo, Carson Palmer, Matt Ryan, Matt Hasselbeck, those guys, they would dominate today's NFL because the level of competition has declined. Why do you think we're seeing so many blowouts? Last week, once again, 7 of 16 games were blowouts. Nearly 50% of the games were decided by double digits. I don't point this out because I like to complain. I point this out because I know how great the NFL used to be. And for the longest time, no one else wanted to talk about it. There were times where I thought it was me. I thought maybe I'd lost interest, maybe my priorities were changing, but I haven't changed. They have. Like I said, I don't think diversity has anything to do with this. I didn't watch Jason Whitlock's entire show. Maybe he provided evidence that proved diversity is the cause. But I think the real reason for the decline in the NFL, they are no longer getting the best athletes. And they're no longer getting the best athletes because mama doesn't want her son to become a vegetable. Think about it. You have got to be incredibly smart to be a quarterback in this league. You got to be physically gifted, but you also have to be smart. Why would a mother want her child's brain being rattled for the microscopic chance that he might get drafted into the NFL? For millions of mothers, it's just not worth the risk. With Patrick Mahomes done for the season and the Chiefs out of the playoffs, this could be the first time that the NFL gets exposed. The Christmas Day schedule on Netflix, it's the drizzling shits. You're going into the playoffs with a lot of mediocrity at the quarterback position. The question is, will people finally notice? Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys tomorrow.